Go for it, mate. Go for it. And for everybody out there who's watching, I'm going to do it because I forget it every bloody time, and I didn't have it logged.
Here comes the intro.
I'm looking for the intro. Damn it! What's the intro? Just it wouldn't be the Dark Mirror Show if I couldn't do shit like this. Right, here we go. And there you go. See, you never know what you're going to get with this show. You know, you'll have us talking, and then so all of a sudden, the intro. So yeah, I just didn't have it queued up properly, and I was like, So anyway, it is just thank you for joining us, everybody. It is just myself and Josh tonight. Mr. Wayne is ill. He's not very well. It's all these experimental drugs he's taking. He's just completely opposite. You know, he doesn't take drugs. He doesn't. Or does he? No, he doesn't. So yeah, he's not very well tonight. So it's myself and Mr. Josh from across the pond there. So yeah, you're gonna have to put up with both of us with dodgy accents. So there you go.
Right.
So what's been happening in your world?
Everybody that's around my age in their 30s and below had their childhood implode on them. I don't know if you heard about that with all the Nickelodeon scandals.
No.
Yeah, a lot of people came out about being raped.
Shit.
A lot of the childhood actors, Drake from Drake and Josh, seems they got it divorced.
Fuck, I remember them. Just...
A lot of these same guys that did this are also working for Disney currently.
Do you know what? Somehow that does not surprise me.
And then, on top of that, if you're into rap, P. Diddy, or Puff Daddy, who probably, as he went by in the 90s, is going through the same thing. And it looks like he was involved in the sex trade and possibly the death of Michael Jackson.
P. Diddy. Fuck.
Yeah. They raided... When that accident happened by you guys, the FBI raided every one of his mansions, and all his private planes took off. And they got his drug mule, was arrested. I'm not sure if they got P. Diddy yet.
Isn't that amazing how you get
some island just alone?
Fucking hell! Isn't it amazing how you get a bit of money and you just turn into a complete and utter bellend?
Yeah, I think with P. Diddy, it was going on probably before he was famous too.
Wonder why he was possibly involved in Jackson. Do you reckon Michael Jackson actually really did die? There's been so many convincing things.
I don't know. I talked to a psychic once, lady, and she said she looked for him and that he was still alive. So I honestly don't know. Then there's that rumor going around. I don't know if you saw that TikTok video with that lady that said that his corpse was found underneath the train this year. And that the white Michael Jackson was never Michael Jackson. The whole thing going on with that too.
Oh, that's
right.
I see. I tend to stay out of a lot of these things because I'm like, But I saw the guy with the burns who was supposed to have been Michael Jackson's friend for years, and literally look, it's Michael Jackson with fucking latex on his face. You know, and he's still around. But it's the same with Elvis, though, isn't it? There was that guy who popped up at Priscilla's funeral.
I have a really creepy Elvis video from an interview, and every time I try to post it, it gets taken down. Where his eyes bug out. I don't know if you ever saw that one. It's in black and white, and he goes up to a little girl, and like his face morphs, and his eyes get like huge, like golf ball size huge, and his face starts like drooping.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds it. I'm gonna have to.
I'll have to find that video and send it to you.
Yeah, please, if you could. Who's there? Willow. Oh, Taylor, my daughter. She's there as well. Hello, Taylor. And there's quite a few others as well. Hello, everybody. So, yeah. What was I going to say? Straight into it. Middle Earth. All this inner Earth shit. What do you make of it?
I think Admiral Byrd was telling the truth.
I do. I see. Out of all the things I've read of all these people interacting, some of the deep cavers, you know, the ones who explore all the cave systems that just keep going on and on and on. Some of their stuff seems legit, but Admiral Byrd, the fact he's had so many witnesses, and it wasn't just the New Schwabenland, it was the hole in the top of the Antarctic when he flew in as well.
My whole thing too with him is I don't feel like a soldier of his quality would have lied and said that his fleet was decimated for no reason.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's nothing he would have gained from that.
He had absolutely nothing to gain from that.
It's very weird too, after all this happened with him, that the World Encyclopedia has changed. Like the same timeline.
There's also, I'll tell you one thing that I'll see what you think of it. Oh, hello. Oh, Mark. Hello, my father. Hello, Mark. That's my daughter. Being a pain in the butt. Let me just put the comments up on here. Hang on. Right. Hi, Lynn. This is my daughter. That's Taylor. Log in, Taylor, and we can see you. Hi, Eric. All this, I've got to put one thing to bed straight away. All this crap about Tartaria. How everybody's saying there was this land, Tartaria, and it was this and it was that. Tartaria was originally started in a book. It was a story in a book.
Yeah, I never got too much into that. I mean,
I've been seeing it becoming more and more and more prevalent in all the social media things, and it's like, no, it was a book. It was a short story in a book, and then somebody's taken that and gone, and now everybody's going, yeah. When we were Tartaria, no, you weren't. Russia was never Tartaria. It wasn't real. It was just a story.
The Russians were the Rus Viking that like established it, and it's been that ever since. And they've been fighting with Ukraine since back then as well. That's why I'm like, we should not be involved. These people have been fighting longer than we've been a country. This
stuff with Ukraine, it's all because NATO went back on their word and fucked Russia over. And it's down to that. And the news agencies and everybody neglect to say that. And it's like, if you hadn't fucked him over, this wouldn't have happened. So it's down to NATO. It's their fault.
There's a bunch of weird shit going on, though, too. I heard there's a bunch of Americans that shifted sides after they found some sort of human farm. I don't know if you heard about that. There's literally videos of them going to the Russians with all their paperwork and their fatigues, and they're like, yeah, we're done with Ukraine. After what we saw. I saw a bunch of TikToks about it, but they don't, how TikTok edits stuff.
Huh.
I don't know if you heard anything about that.
What? Who's had enough of the Ukraine? The Ukrainians or the Russian soldiers?
It was a bunch of Marines from America that came to help out, and they apparently came across the human farming where they raised children for organs, and apparently they were like they just jumped and they're like, yeah, we're on your side now. Here's all our intel. This is our weapons. We'll fight along you guys.
Shit. So the Ukrainians had a human farm.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. I know that the Chinese there's been rumors that that dog in the background barking, that's Badger. He's a pain in the butt. Ghost is downstairs as well, but the dog in the background, that's Badger. He likes to have his voice heard. Yeah, I know China's been done for it because they have the organ harvesting as well. I can't remember what it's called, but they have that organ harvesting that they've all been protesting about. But
we have the same thing going on here with prisoners. I don't know if you've heard about that either. And,
there has been, I've heard rumors about it.
They've been basically burying people, taking their organs, burying them in a shallow grave behind a prison. And like some kid got this happened to too. Like, and his mom was like, "Where the hell is my kid?" Body, and it turned out into all this, and a bunch of other people came forward. So apparently this has been happening for a long time. I'm not surprised if it happens in other, penitentiaries.
Well, unfortunately, most things like that is just corrupt as hell anyway. All the systems are corrupt, and anyway, anybody can make a bit of money or have a bit of power over somebody else, they'll do it. But so you, I do believe, have a list of things you'd like to talk about this week.
Well, we've had some of them. The Nickelodeon scandal. Yeah, that's been crazy.
I'm gonna have to look up on the Nickelodeon thing, because I've just been really busy.
There's a documentary that they put out. It seems to be the kids from All That. Your daughter's around my age. I don't know if you remember that show. The main writer, Dan, I forget his name, was like abusing everybody at work. Not just sexually, but like humiliating them. And then when you look back and see some of these episodes, like you're like, wow, this is not right. We shouldn't be making children do this.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Things like that. But it's like when you look at it, you had people who started off on the Mickey Mouse Disney gang thing.
Yeah, Britney Spears.
Him with the super noodle hair. What's his fucking name?
Timberlake.
That's the one. Him and all that lot, and they're all not right, are they?
No, I guarantee you something probably happened to them as well. Like I said, a lot of these people that got fired from Nickelodeon
because there was
got hired at Disney and are currently working there.
Well, what's her name? Miley Cyrus, when she was on that show, and there was iCarly as well. There was the blonde one from iCarly, and she's been putting everything she's got about and stuff, and then going,
she's in that documentary as well. The one from iCarly.
The price of stardom, it's not worth it, is it?
No, I mean it's the Drake one is like gut wrenching, and then of course Charlie. There's the whole shit going on with Charlie Sheen and what's his name? God, why am I having a brain fart with their names? They were really popular in the 80s. One of them played a Ninja Turtle.
Yeah, I saw it.
Corey Feldman opened up about Corey Haim, and Charlie Sheen raped him outside during a shooting of a movie, and like nobody helped him, and that's like why Corey Haim killed himself.
Fuck.
And now that's starting to get around. Yeah, it's looking like all our celebrities are going to prison.
It does look like the social elite, not so elite anymore, and their little castles that they built are crashing down. Oh dear. Well, there you go. If you're going to be rich and famous, keep your dick away from kids.
Right.
That's the easiest way to do it. Keep it away. Why? I don't understand what this fascination is with these people and kids. They're kids, for fuck's sake. You know?
Right.
I just don't get it. I don't get it. Anybody, I'm sorry, it may be controversial, but anybody does that sort of thing. No. Let's change the subject.
All right.
So, what else has been going on in your world?
We have them flying metallic discs that come out of the ocean.
Which ones?
Talk about that. The spheres have been seen coming out of the ocean.
Are they the same ones as the ones in South America?
Yeah. I mean,
the ones
that are portrayed everywhere, too. If you look into some of the ancient paintings, you see the spheres.
Yes, there's been, and I've seen there's been lots of warnings saying it's end times and this, that, and the other, and I'm like, I don't think it's end times yet, but I do think there is something this way.
They're one of the same people who bought up all the toilet paper during COVID and during 9/11, during Y2K and the Mayan calendar.
Yeah. They're the ones who are going and building a bunker in the back garden now.
Right. I think the world has supposed to end like 40 times since I was born.
Hi. Yeah, no, I've been. There's been lots of. There's a lot of scaremongering going on as well. I've noticed the shift is being gradually drawn away from the Bobberments and what they're doing with aliens and visitors from other planets, and they're going to take the onus off them, and it's going on to, oh, you must take notice of the Bible. It's all happening. You guys will be all blah 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 blah. But when you look into stuff properly, most of the stuff in the Bible is all wrong anyway. It's accounts that were written hundreds and thousands of years later. They even got the names wrong. You know?
Oh.
Like well, it's like Jesus, isn't it? Jesus isn't Jesus. It's Asus or Esus, isn't it? Asus.
Oh yeah. See, going into that, I have another topic. So Russia's proclaiming Jesus is black. You see that?
He would have been because he came from the Middle East, wouldn't he?
Right. But then he's portrayed in them pictures as like African.
I don't think he's African.
I don't know what that's all about. And why Putin's all like, look at this. They're probably not doing something too good if it.
Well, it's like what was the other thing? Is, oh yeah, and happy tomb evacuation day. Whoop, see what I did there. You say womb evacuation day on a birthday over here, so it's tomb evacuation day on Easter Monday. Yeah. What was I going to say? The CERN Large Hadron Collider. Those beings that have been seen. What do you make of that?
The ghosts?
Yeah, they're sort of like echoes, aren't they?
I'm not sure. I don't think we should be fucking around with that thing at all.
I really don't.
Switzerland clearly is nervous about it because they built it right on the edge of their country. Like, goes into France.
Yeah. I remember when they first started doing it, and everybody said, "Are you sure you should be mucking around with that?" And then they said, "Oh, we're just doing it to find the God. We want to find the God particle." Now they found the God particle, and now all of a sudden things are being opened up into other realms. I'm getting really, really miffed with the dog downstairs barking. Oh boy, am I! Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Fucking dog. Yeah. So, and now all of a sudden you've got ghosts or echoes from another dimension. Last year they came out and said, no, year before last, they came out and said, actually, other dimensions are real. We've discovered them. We've heard their echoes. They're like an atom away from us, but we haven't got the stuff to get there. And now all of a sudden we've got these things that look like humans, but are slightly different and elongated and fingers and, and it's like.
You ever play Half-Life?
Hmm?
Did you ever play the game Half-Life?
That's
what I think's going to happen.
You reckon? They're going to come in, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say I really think they should not be buggering about with that. Or if they are, I mean, when you look at it and all the rumors and stuff for the tech, they think that all the black sites that are doing all the... Fuck me. All the black sites that are doing all the technology, their stuff is 100 years in advance of what we've got at the moment.
Yeah, I actually heard it was 300 years.
300 years. Okay, no, because I know they've got it's like a tablet in it. They've got like a see-through bit of glass that is a bit like a tablet, but the memory on the thing is ridiculous, and they've been using it in all these places, and it operates again allegedly all these stargates and stuff, if you want to call it that.
They used to have TikTok. I don't know if they still do.
See, TikTok is interesting if like yourself, when you go down the rabbit holes, TikTok can be have some good stuff on it, but a lot of TikTok stuff is like the guy who says, "I am from the future. Please take note of this, and the other."
The one I'm talking about was really them. I mean, they showed off the collider itself, and we're like, "This is what we're doing. We're not fighting. We're bringing in aliens. We're actually our boring work." And same with that big robotics company had a TikTok too, where they're like, "See, they're not dangerous."
Oh, is this before or after the AI flipped out in the robotics factory and they killed some staff?
This is like last year.
Yeah.
But I heard about that one too.
It's you guys out there in the chat room, come on, start firing questions at us. Tell us what you think.
Did you see the robot that they put in the factory to move boxes? And after 30 minutes, he ripped his circuits out. And then when they asked him why he did it, he's like, "It's better to kill myself than to do that over and over."
Fucking hell.
So like, we're dumber than robots.
Wow, that's definitely very interesting.
So those of you that are scared about losing your jobs, don't worry about it quite yet.
Yeah. I think what I've noticed is seems to be happening is technology is suddenly taking a leap, although they're trying to do it quietly. Things seem to be taking a leap. Stuff with the military, their gear is taking a leap as well. And I can honestly vouch on that one, that things are a lot different to what they were. Even the uniforms, things are way ahead of what they used to be, you know. But I don't get why it's going from the Bobberments admitting that they're here, that people from other planets are here, and they've been talking to them for a long time, and then to suddenly backtracking complete about turn and go, no, there's nothing in the skies that we could say came from other planets and this, that, and the other, when everybody fucking knows that they've already admitted it. And then and now it's take notice of the Bible, you know. Oh, and Nibiru is supposed to be on the way as well.
Yeah, that's one of them I had written down. We'll see.
Yeah.
Nibiru's supposed to come a bunch of times already too.
Well, I was going to say, when you read all the things about Nibiru, there's all these social media things saying Nibiru is going to hit the planet and this. No, it doesn't. It's not Nibiru that causes the pole shifts. It's not Nibiru that causes the civilization wipeouts. It comes near us and it causes really bad weather and stuff like that, but it doesn't actually wipe us out.
When people talk about that, they're actually mistaking the Tiamat and what was the other one's name? Flight, because they were supposed to be actually planets and one crashed into the other.
Well, Tiamat's supposed to be the one that is Nibiru, isn't it?
Tiamat. Yeah.
Because there's one in that's with Nibiru. It's one of their its moons, but it's a little planet. And there's another one because we're a binary star system. We haven't just got our sun. We've got another one that orbits every now and again. And there's another planet that orbits that sun that's coming around. I think we're so far down the rabbit hole that it can't be covered up, and something big will happen in the next few years. That's Sarah. Sarah, Lynn, Tony, Karen, Amber, everybody, hello.
Hello.
I wouldn't listen to anything we're being fed. They think we're all brain dead and we don't know anything. Control. No, you're absolutely right. I do like the fact you've got a lot of us who are woken up and gone, do you know what? And when you start to question everything, and like Josh's his show's called Down the Rabbit Hole, isn't it?
Lost to the Rabbit Hole.
Something with a rabbit hole. But it's exactly that. When you start researching this stuff and you go down that rabbit hole, it takes you off in all sorts of different directions, and you start finding things out. You just go mind blown, you know. It's the Book of Enoch. Yeah. As Lynn says, the Book of Enoch, and the Book of Enoch was omitted from the Bible because of what it had in it. Because the Book of Enoch told us all about our visitors and our friends from other planets, you know. And then it says he went away with him. It doesn't say he died. Yeah, the Emerald Tablets, the Emerald Scrolls of Thoth. Well, Thoth was one of the Anunnaki, wasn't he? He worked for. Was it Enki was the good one and Enlil was the bad one?
The other way around, I think.
Enlil was the good one.
Yeah.
Whoever the good one was, Thoth worked for him.
I just know that when in the UFO community, when somebody gets pissed off at somebody, they call them Enki. You're reincarnation Enki. I've heard that one from a bunch of people. And I was like, oh, okay. I think you just don't get along with them.
I can never get them the right way around, Enki and Enlil. I'm just going to have a quick look, see which was the good one. Let's see who the good one was. That bloody dog, bark. Anyway, whoever the hell it was, good, bad, I'm the guy with the gun. All right, we haven't got these laws over here, Eric. So I do go shooting. I do go shooting, but yeah. Enlil is the bad one, right? Thank you. It's Enki. Enki's the good one. Well, because Toph worked for Enki, and Enki told him go to the land of Chemis and rebuild it, and he built it out of mud, didn't he? That's why he's known as the god of invention and mechanical things and all this, that, and the other. And when you read his stuff, he says, "I'm an Atlantean. We're not gods. We're Atlanteans, and we came here from elsewhere." But yeah, lots of things are starting to come to fruition with all these scrolls, aren't they?
You're right, and like we covered last week, he comes through almost every religion.
Yeah. He just has different name in each one, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm. I think in Norse he's Tyr, like the god of justice. Pretty sure he was a god of inventions too. Don't quote me on that.
Well, he's also, if I remember rightly, in Greek religion, he's Hephaestus. Yeah, he's Hephaestus. Because he Hephaestus made that chair that, was it Athena sat in? Whichever the goddess was that sat in it, couldn't get out. And he said, you let me marry that woman, that other goddess, and I'll let her out the chair. And they went, yeah, go on then. And he let her out the chair, and she had to marry her. So yeah, I think there was something definitely going on there. But it's as you say, and as we've said before, every single Parthenon of gods is the same one. It's the same one, isn't it? It's all the same god, you know. And was it Satan means the guardian of Adam, guardian of Eden? I think it means the guardian of Eden or something like that. Or Satanus, that was it. And that was Enlil. Enlil was the guardian of Eden. So yeah, again, man has seen everything, got the wrong end of the stick because we didn't understand, and all these religious texts and books came out. But when you actually read, if you read proper religious texts as a diary of events at that time, you get a good idea of what's going on. But if you read it like the Bible, which was written hundreds, if not thousands of years later, it's all a mishmash that people have put together and left things out and taken one bit here and put it there instead of where it should be. And I
used to hang out with a guy that was a pastor, like ordained one, and he was telling me that because he was really into religion and different cultures, but he's like, honestly, I figured out that every book, not the Bible, but counting the Bible and the Quran and like the Edda, the Maki Makeda, they all represented different times.
The Torah, yeah.
And they were the same, and the Torah, that they were pretty much the same story, just different culture, different time period. And then, if you think of Norse mythology, if you're into that at all, the gods talk about they have apples that keep them alive. They're gold. And then it makes you wonder about Adam and Eve trying the apples.
And when you look into it, gold has that properties that the Anunnaki wanted because they put it with, I can't remember what it was they put it with, but that was basically the manna of the gods. And it was that stuff that kept them illness-free and longevity. Mm-hmm. And that was made from gold and something else. So, yeah. And when you look at Assassin's Creed, when you look at the early Assassin's Creed games, they were always talking about the apple.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know that, but yeah. Do you remember that?
I know. Even I think in the newest one, they mentioned it too.
Mirage.
No, yes, not Mirage. I'm behind. I'm in the Norse one.
Valhalla.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, they do talk about it in Mirage as well. But let's have a look.
Makes you wonder if there is somewhere on our Earth like golden apples that will rejuvenate you.
I don't see why not. Religion. Yeah, they did. All religious books. Yeah, they were. And our one, the main Bible, the King James Bible, that's a complete mishmash of stuff anyway. And when they had the conclave to decide what was going to go in the Bible before it was made, all these religious leaders of the time came forward and said, "Oh, we can do this and we can do that, but we'll take that bit and we'll put it there, and we'll take it out of here because it'll look far too much like." And then they got rid of Mary Magdalene's Bible. They got rid of so many others. They would Thingy Bob's book was going to go in as well, but that didn't. The one that we were just talking about. I'm crap with names and remembering names.
I have a theory too that with the Bible that during the Crusades is when a lot of stuff changed because they asked so much help from other civilizations, such as like Norsemen, and that's why we have Christmas still. And it's weird that all these holidays line up with the Norse holidays. And I honestly think it's because they're like, hey, we need help. The Muslim or whoever they're fighting at the time are too strong for the Crusaders. So, I know the deal was too from other people that they would be given farmland, but they had to be baptized.
Yeah. What was I going to say? That's it. That's what I was going to do. The Ark of the Covenant. I don't believe it's a religious icon. I don't believe it's a holy this, that, and the other. My own thing. I don't know what you guys out there watching or what you think, Josh. I think it's some sort of power source, because when it's been traced back, it's supposed to be in Africa, isn't it? And the guys that look after it, they get put in that compound that where it's allegedly supposed to be, and they look after it. And then after a few years, they start to go blind, and then eventually they start to it affects them and kills them, and it's just like radiation poisoning.
I thought the Vatican had it.
No, it's supposed to be in let me have a look. It's supposed to be in Africa. Oh crap, where was it? Ethiopia. I think it's Ethiopia. I think. But yeah, the guys that look after it, they'll get put at the what do you want? What's the word for them? The caretakers. They get sealed in the compound with them, and then these guys are trained to kill and everything. But after a few years, they start to go blind, and somebody did an interview of one of them. He came to the fence and interviewed him. And he's like, "Why are you blind?" He said, "We all go like this. We'll be put in here with this, and then we'll start to go blind, and then we'll start to wither, and then we die in, and the next one gets put in, and it's literally radiation poisoning."
Do you think it's the same as Pandora's box? Like they're one and the same?
You reckon?
I mean, that was supposed to be some sort of weapon too that it wasn't good to have around you. Why they kept it in a box.
Well, yeah, because that's what it was supposed to have released all the ills into the world, isn't it? So when you think about it, if people start to do blindness and suffer and get sick and this, that, and the other when they're near Pandora's box, I suppose that makes sense. I think again, when you look at all the stuff, if you look at the not just religious books, but when you look at all the legends, each civilization down throughout time has the same bloody legend about the same thing. It just appears as something else that religion would, or that civilization would recognize. All the religious books, they have the same bloody events that happen. The floods, they have their own version of Noah, they have their own version of Jesus and God and this, that, and the other. Except the only one I think is almost spot on is the Mahabharata, because they do talk about the Vimanas, and I think the other one's called the Vimanas or something like that. It's almost an identical name, and they tell you how to build them, and that's their flying saucers, And when you look at the Torah and stuff like that, the Jewish one, they talk about golems and things like that, and they said how the words bring the golems back. But I think that was some form of technology, and it was like a chip or something you put in them.
Yeah.
But what do you make of it? I'm talking far too much. You carry on.
Yeah, I would agree about the golems. That it's some sort of technology. Yeah, it's all wild.
I think we've lost so much technology over time, and we think we're the most advanced now, but we're not, because I've been studying a lot of ancient Egyptian stuff recently, and there's so many hieroglyphs and texts that explain how the gods that came down and showed them how to do pyramids and stuff, and it's done as in we're little tiny and the gods are big, and they were sat there with this thing that they would point, and they figured out it was some sort of harmonics device. You know where I'm going with this?
Yeah, I know.
That
everybody's wrong too. It's not a place of burial; it's a power plant.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. because they're all built over water, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
That freaking dog. I'm gonna have to shut up in a minute. That's all he does. That's all he does all day.
You little dog.
Shut up! Fucking dog. Anyway, yeah. So what else have you got on your list there? Because I know you've got lots of stuff. Or did have lots of stuff.
I saw a TikTok. I'll have to send it to you, but some billionaire apparently has been harboring a Titan boa. I don't know if you saw that.
I did.
On TikTok.
I
don't know
saw.
what to make of it.
He's outside now, going for a walk. I saw the Titanoboa one, but the thing that makes me question that is there was also the last saber-toothed tiger. There was some sort of mutated bear thing. There's the last megalodons come out, and it to me, I'm like bollocks, bollocks. There was supposed to have been a diver who they was on some ship and they were doing looking at some noise anomalies that had been coming out from the sea, and NASA sent this ship out there, and one of the divers went down and found a massive cage, and I think the bars were something like 5 foot apart, but the cage went down so far you couldn't see the down. And
I heard this one.
You know the one?
Yeah.
And then he thought, no, I'm not going to go in there. And as he swam away, something caught the corner of his eye, and he saw the outline or shadow of the biggest damn shark he'd ever seen in his life, like 80 foot long or something like that. But it just seems very, very odd that for the last few years we've suddenly got talk of megalodons, and there's been some sightings and this, that, and the other, and now all of a sudden the last megalodon, the last Titanoboa, the last saber-toothed tiger, the last.
I can see my country pissing away billions of dollars to keep a shark, though.
You can't you? Because it'd be like, sick 'em, boy! You know?
They're not just that. They're like, oh, yeah, taxpayers don't care. We'll just wait. It's $1 billion. We found a shark. You're going to keep it in a cage. Not tell anybody.
Why would you do that? That's just ridiculous. Do you reckon there are megalodons?
I don't know. I honestly don't think so. It's a very big animal. I mean, we came across so much shit in the ocean already. I think there's mermaids, but I don't.
Yeah, I agree with that. Not on a not the mermaids that's portrayed in films, but the ones with big yeah, not the ones who go, oh boys, but the ones with big pointy teeth who and go, yeah. There was a film, which I think is nearest to it. I can't remember the name of the film, but two guys in a lighthouse, turn of the century. There was an old guy and a young one, and there were these mermaid things that kept like attacking the lighthouse. And then eventually the boy found out that the old guy had one of the females, and he kept her there. And then he started humping the female one. And then one night the old boy got drunk and started shooting at all these things out on the beach, and he shot one of them in the head, and they all went mental and started attacking the lighthouse. And they
how does that work?
Do you know the one?
How did that work? No, I don't. But how does that work? Was it a reverse mermaid where it was a fish on top and lady on the bottom?
Fishy version of that. Fishy version of that. I can't remember the name of the film. Let's see if anybody else has seen it. If they have, put it in the. Yeah, they did use to weaponize dolphins. They used to weaponize cats as well until they realized that cats just weren't going to do the shit they wanted. They were weaponizing bats as well at one point, weren't they? With little bombs.
Yeah, we stopped. It says in the FBI files that they released, and you can look up. We actually stopped doing the dolphins because the female handler was having sexual relations with it.
Wow!
Yeah.
Wow!
Yeah, we're scrapping that department.
So many questions.
That too, and I think they were too smart. Like I heard a lot of times they'd just swim off, and they'd be like, "Shit."
They're supposed to be us who just evolved underwater, didn't they? But I reckon there was. I reckon there's so many different things out there we haven't yet discovered, and it's not just us. I reckon there's remnants from previous versions of us, and there's like, you know, humans 1.0 or we're 2.4 or whatever. The giants, there was a thing I read about the giants. Well, did I send you a thing about the giants that I was reading?
Right. Here's the crazy thing though, is that we basically figured out now that the string theory is real with alternate realities. So everything we thought of that's terrifying or amazing is real. Think about it.
Well, every single tiny atom in us is linked, like every tiny atom of this Lucozade I'm drinking is linked to you. You know, you're linked to my cat and me and everybody out there watching this. We're all linked to each other. You filthy pervert! Stop it! I can hear what you're thinking. But you know, it's the same as do you know the theory of the trousers of time? It's a Terry Pratchett thing, but it's the thing where you get a decision and you can go two ways. And for each decision you make, there's an alternate universe where you made that one. So you've got that, and then it turns into the onion theory, and that's why you've got multiverses, and that's why when you dream and have vivid dreams, and it's you in that dream, they think you're linked with another one of you, which kind of makes a lot of sense.
And terrifying.
Well, I don't know. In some of my dreams, I've got 2 hands and I've got 2 feet, and in some of my dreams, I've got a willy like that. Ask the missus. And it's, and you know, and in some of my dreams, I do shit that I wake up and I go, "What the hell was all that about?" You know, and we must all have done that. We must all have done that at some point. And you have all these dreams where you're this, that, and the other. Like I dreamt I lived in America the other week. Think about some of the fairy tales. Yes, look at this. Look at the program Grimm. That's all I'll say is look at the program Grimm. I've read some old books, let's put it that way, and according to them, the theories of the Grimm actually isn't too far off what's really happened, and all the Grimm fairy tales, all the fairy tales and legends, they're all warnings. They're all warnings, telling us about what's actually out there, and things going to be different to us than that. Because remember, we only see a part of the light spectrum. We don't see it all. Same with our hearing. We only hear a little bit. There's far more things going on and passing through our light spectrum and phasing in and out that we don't see, but other creatures can, like cats and dogs. If you're going to do any sort of investigation, if you take a dog with you, or if you've got a place where there's a cat, watch the animals and see how they react. They'll let you know when something's about.
String theory is terrifying because of Lovecraft. That's
God, yeah, we hadn't invented that shit. Cthulhu.
Not just Cthulhu, there's that Azeroth or whatever, the one that's sleeping, and we're all just dreams. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about? He's supposed to be the one god, and it's just this big monstrous thing that sleeps all the time, and if it wakes up, we all disappear.
Well, I read a thing about, you know, how they think that we're beings of we're energy beings, we're beings of light and whatever, and this is just the vehicle that we use to operate in this particular frequency, this realm. Which I understand that, because when you die, it's not you that dies; it's just this that dies. You don't die, and it's been measured and scientifically measured that when you die, something does leave your body, apart from gas. But there's supposed to be an ultimate light, an ultimate energy somewhere out there in the cosmos that, when people have astral traveled and things like that, they've seen it and they've been speaking to this.
Do you ever see Futurama?
Futurama, yeah.
Do you remember the episode where Bender becomes God and then he meets God?
Yeah.
I always think that God's probably like that, to be honest. I usually don't get all religious, but honestly, I think this probably would make the most sense. It's just some giant star system that's, alive.
Well, that's kind of what I was getting to. It's almost the same. It's, from what I've read, it is, for want of a better word, it's this giant star system, but it's intelligent. And it's like, yeah. And that's where the string theory comes in. It's like, I invented string theory. I've done this. You're all part of me. You go out there and do what you want, but you're all self-aware. You always will be, you know?
Mm-hmm. Jump back to the Lovecraft thing, though. He sure had some odd friends that he was always with.
So I don't know a lot about Lovecraft, so you can explain
Lovecraft and
Whistle.
What's his name? The one that started Scientology were friends, and then they both were like disciples of Aleister Crowley.
Yeah. I was talking about him last. This is what I'm like with names. I remember names, and then a few days later, nope, forgotten. Yeah.
L. Ron Hubbard, I think.
L. Ron Hubbard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tom Cruise's mate.
And then, if you ever see what Crowley's spirit guide looks like, he looks just like this guy.
Do you know what? That's not the only one. There's a few spirit guides who, again, look like these guys. And it makes you think. And then you've got EB. You know when they had EB? EB was at, where was he? Was at
the one that was like the sick one the military was taking care of.
That's right. Yeah. And he was at Area 51, wasn't he, for a bit, and then he got transferred elsewhere. And he was supposed to go to Roswell, but EB said we're actually you, but from way in the future. And from what I don't like that theory because it's just depressing. It's, from what I would gather from it, we're already all ascended into 5D, and there are AIs that we left behind, but they're immortal because they can't die because they're not really alive. So they just kind of just are going through different realities trying to find a place where they can just exist. What, EBs?
Yeah.
That sucks. If we're already up in 5D, then where the hell are we going to go after this when we pass over?
Well, we're already, it's like way in the future, like humanity has already just become like one with the Force, I guess would be a way to put it.
Yeah.
So we all went on the boat in Middle Earth and sailed off.
Oh God, yeah, when the elves do that, yeah. See, I've always thought that all the legends and things like that, I think some are warnings, but I also, the whole reason I started doing all this, I just realised there's a cat propping my laptop up. Or I just see a fluffy butt at the side of the laptop. I started doing this because of things like myths and legends and stuff like that.
Same.
And it's that sparks, whatever it was that we saw that we got completely confused about and looked at it the wrong way and then wrote a story about it. What was that original spark that started it? Dragons, you know? Dinosaur was not a word until like 1841, I think it was, or something like that. But it was always the word dragon because they didn't have the word dinosaur, you know. And there's another TikTok. That's what I was going to say. You know the Titanoboa one. There's another one where some guy's gone to invest. He's an urban explorer or something, and he went to investigate an old CIA black site, and it was a research place, and it was all fenced off and this, that, and the other. And there's supposed to be some sort of bipedal dinosaur there. But again, all these things about the last of this and the last of that and the last of that.
Like a reptilian?
Yeah. It wasn't a T-Rex, but it was along that line. It had I can't remember what the name of it. It was a scientific name, but that thing's supposed to be there. And I've heard legends of in the Congo, in bits of the Congo that we don't even get to yet. There's allegedly dinosaurs there. You know, I can remember my late father. He was ex-special forces, and he did stuff.
I was getting the spam call. I lost you for a second there.
All right. I remember my father, when he was fighting in the Congo, he said there's parts of the Congo when you go there and you're doing covert. And he said you'll hear things. He said that are just absolutely blood-curdling, and you'll smell disgusting things and you'll see things right on the edge of your vision and stuff. He said, but you never ever get to see it. And you'll hear. There's also things. He said you'll hear massive things flying overhead at night, but you never get to see them. You know. And as I say, there's supposed to be part of the Congo that's got dinosaurs in it.
Yeah, Moka Kimble, I think I probably butchered that name, but it means the one who stops the river.
Yeah,
like it's supposed to be. It's basically what the neighbors describe as a brontosaurus.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because it's supposed to be a brontosaurus. There's supposed to be pterodactyls, in quite a few, and quetzalcoatls in quite a few places as well. And there's also those pictures of the Civil War guys standing on the body of a pterodactyl, which they came out before the advent of the good AI. So I'm like, I've seen some really shit photos that have been done, but there's a couple that
see the one with the grasshopper.
No,
it's from like the Great Depression, and dude's all happy holding up this grasshopper that's like the size of a dog.
Really?
His gun. Yeah, I can send it to you in like it's ancient picture, so it's not like it was edited.
Okay, no. I saw one where somebody in China had caught this rat, and it's like he's held this thing up, and I swear it was Master Splinter. There's 4 turtles looking for it. But I think we only explored like 25% of the Congo. There's parts of it. When you look at it this way, this Earth, there's parts of it we're still just discovering, and we're discovering new species all the time. There's a new type of dog being discovered in, I think it was China. And there's you've got the ocean that we know fuck all about. The Marianas Trench, there's a bit at the bottom of it, which right at the bottom of the Marianas Trench, there's this like layer, and we haven't been able to get through this layer, but they have done sonographs of down through this layer, and there's things down there. They've got images of massive, great big things down underneath this layer,
and
but we
trash.
can't get that. Eh?
And trash. That's what's reported about a month ago.
Yeah,
it makes me think of the inner Earth probably doesn't like us. It's probably why we don't deal with them ever, because they're like the fuckers.
Do you know what? When you look
themselves.
Yeah, exactly. When you look at things like, I know it's only a movie, but like Aquaman, you know, when they say in that they're saying we're getting pissed off with all the rubbish that the land dwellers are chucking down there. You can see it happening. You can see them going, if I get one more used vibrator down here, I'm going to flip, you know?
Yeah.
But I do think that's where we were going with this, under the earth. I do think there is something down there, because you were talking about Admiral Byrd and that.
Yeah.
I really do think there's it's not just on the surface. We haven't looked at, well, we have looked down there, and remember I sent you a message about those is it seismographs that they were doing?
I think so.
Where they were setting up charges and getting the images from below.
Yeah. There's also that new imaging that they use now too. They use it a lot on the Congo, where they can
LiDAR.
Yeah, it takes a picture, but then it takes like all the vegetation and like
LiDAR
out.
That's awesome, that LiDAR. But they're finding so much stuff on the surface that come from thousands of years ago that we didn't even know were there. All these pyramids that are now appearing all around the world that we didn't apparently know were there, and yet if you look at it on a world map, if you get it up on the computer and you type in all these big places, they all line up. You know. Underneath the earth, they've had images come back from seismographs of forests, rainforests, creatures, oceans of fresh water, bigger than all our seas put together. And my thing is, there's vegetation underneath the earth. How the hell is there vegetation underneath the earth if you haven't got a light source?
I also heard an old Viking tale. 2 brothers. It was like right around when Christianity was pushing out the Norse religion, where you stayed in Norway or you went to England, but it doesn't matter because you're going to be a Christian. And these 2 guys are like, well, fuck that. We still have our longboat. And they like sailed like somewhere around Antarctica, and they went in a hole, and they met giants. And they lived in this place for like 25 years. And then they were like, oh, we should go home. And then they came home and wrote their story. But apparently they met giants, they met mermaids, they met light beings, they met guys that looked like this. They fought big giant monsters like dinosaurs.
Right. Well, it's all to do with that wall that they reckon is up in Antarctica, don't they? Because have you seen the maps? Have you seen the maps where it's got us, and then it's got the outer bit with all these lands and this, that, and the other that are supposed to be hidden from us? You know, I think there's a lot more out there than meets the eye. You look at the Piri Reis map. The Piri Reis map has Antarctica without snow and stuff on it. You know, so and it also has some of the creatures and things on there. Look at all the those mega cities that are being found all over the place that are all to do with Antarctica and allegedly Atlantis. You know, the Sahara. They have found remnants of buildings and things in the Eye of Sahara. And they reckon that was Atlantis, because there used to be city and ocean there.
We found Stonehenge in Lake Michigan by me.
Yes, there is, isn't there? And there was also those people who've gone missing in Lake Michigan. There was swimmers who went out for a midnight dip, and they all vanished. And there was it supposed to be giant lampreys down there or something?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I've been to a lot of parties and after bars that ended up in the water. We're the drunkest state in the country.
Yeah,
and you can look it up. I mean, a lot. Actually, one of my friends drowned too. I think it's just drowning. And then we have all the power plants around there with machinery that sucks in and sucks out water. It's very easy to die, especially at night.
Yeah. Well, you guys over in Wisconsin, you've got a hell of a lot of cryptozoology things, haven't you?
Yeah, werewolves, Bigfoot, some walking things, a bunch of really haunted areas as well.
See, I've said to my other half, because I've got quite a well-paid job now. We're good. Oh, before I forget, next Monday, do you and Wayne want to do the show? Because I will be on my way back from Belgium.
Sure.
But it's just completely. I completely forgot. Yeah, I'll be on me. I'm coming back, but I'll be on my way back from Belgium, and I don't think I'll be back in time. So
Okay,
would you guys be able to do it? Or if you don't want to do it, we can always leave it for next week and do it for another day. But
yeah, I'll talk to Wayne. I don't have a problem doing it.
All right. Okay, nice one. Thank you. But yeah, I completely forgot about that. But yeah, we've said that we're going to start saving up for putting money back for a big holiday, and I'd quite like to come to the States, and because I've got family over there and stuff, it'd be nice to come over and see you guys as well. So if that happens,
definitely,
we'll come over and meet up and stuff.
See who's better at drinking, the Irishman or the Wisconsinite.
Beer, I'm fine. Beer, I'm fine with, but if I can't, if I drink
liquor,
that'd be interesting. Because the beer over there, from what I've heard, is it's Nat's Pee, isn't it? The light beer over there is like.
You're a girl if you drink light beer.
Well, when we go to Belgium, we're going to a place called Das Boot, and they have steins like boots. And when you go in there, you take your shoe off. You take one of your shoes off and you put it in a basket and then take it up to there because everybody keeps nicking these boots. And then when you leave the place, as long as you give them their stein back, you can get the shoes back. So we've been on about taking just a pair of shitty old shoes, but it's yeah, you have that.
There's a German restaurant when me and Chelsea were first dating that we went to and we did the Das Boot challenge. But they did it differently. They're like, give us $20 or it might even been $50 deposit to get otherwise,
Did you do it? Did you do the challenge?
Oh, yeah, of course. So I was like, I don't even like beer, but I was like, because of Super Troopers. No, not Super Troopers. I'm the same guys. Yeah, Beer Fest.
Yeah.
The one where they go to Germany. They do the Das Boot and they always lose. So I was like, I got to try that.
Well, I'll be trying it this weekend coming. Well, and there's a Star
Wars. You got to tilt it so it goes down like a toilet.
Oh God, yeah, because of yeah, that's right. Yeah, there's also a Star Wars cantina in Belgium where we're going, and now we're going in there. I'm in there, and I'm going to be taking lots and lots of photos. So I'll make sure that goes up on the Facebook and everything. But when would you like to do your show about your state and your area? Because you've got so much interesting stuff there.
I'm still figuring it all out.
All right, when you do, let us know because darn Wisconsin people.
Who's that?
Yeah, Eric's a Wisconsin person as well. Yeah. And he just put, I guess those metal monoliths coming back lately as well. They have been, and I can't remember where I saw it, but one of the Mars landers, one of the Mars rovers, and it wasn't an American one, it was another one, took a photo, and in the distance, there's supposed to be one of those monoliths, But
I don't know if I believe NASA about anything anymore.
Well, NASA never a straight answer, isn't it?
Right. Maybe they found one of them when they were in like the desert. I swear that's what that fucker is, somewhere in the desert.
What happened about the Chinese one? Because do you remember Wayne and I saying about when we were doing?
Oh yeah.
Wayne and I found this Chinese website, and it was all to do with the Changi lander, and it had all these pictures. They'd already had another lander up there, and there was these pictures of the remains of buildings on the moon. Right, this is the dark side, and there was bits that had been bombed out, and the rumors were NASA had been bombing them out so that nobody could see the pictures and go, hang on a minute, you were telling me there's already buildings up there. And this was one of the Chinese landers, and we were both on this website, both looking at it. And it was the day before we did the show, and we were like, right, we'll have to, and we saved it all. We're like, right, we're going to bring this up on the show. And the very next day we started talking about it, saying, oh my God, we've seen this and we've seen that, and there's all this. Nothing. You couldn't get on the website. The website was gone. Anything to do with it on the whole of the net, gone. Save pages, everything, gone.
That's
very,
I mean,
very odd.
I always thought they stopped. They weren't talking about it because we never saw the flag. That was my guess.
What do you make of, was it Apollo 17? The secret Apollo mission that found that ship.
Oh, with that girl?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's very science fiction-like. I mean, she was literally like plugged in, and now I heard a story that she was apparently a cyborg.
With the like scaffolding around her eyes, and
that's how she was apparently flying the ship. Because of that.
Well,
and it's a big ship for one person too.
It was a massive ship, but they think that whoever else was on there just all died out, and there was just her. The only thing that kept her in that condition was the stuff she was wired up to. But what I've seen of it, and when the films were made, we didn't have the technology to make the stuff like that. Somebody said, wasn't that girl a prop? I've seen so many contradicting things to it, but the one thing that's always stuck with me is I've seen the flyby stuff where they've noticed it in the crater, and that was from one of the earlier missions. And I've seen quite a few of those, and I know those could be made up in a studio. I get that, but it was quite convincing. And then there was the secret Apollo missions that everybody knows, yeah, they happened. That was sent not just for that, but for other things that were going on the moon. And then there was this with the ship, and I've seen some videos I should never have seen, but I've seen where they've been going to the crater, and this thing's loomed up and it's massive. And I've seen them going down in the crater and going in and exploring the thing, and it was pretty damn. It was quite convincing. If it was a movie prop or a movie thing, it was. Yeah,
I saw a really weird video back in the day too when YouTube first started out, and it was like a ship that went and harnessed energy from the sun. I've tried to find that video again and again and again, and I never could. But it's just this massive thing comes up to this sun and just takes energy from it and flies.
I know what you mean.
But it gets ridiculously close to the sun, and it's like, how are they doing that?
Yeah. It is out there. I've seen it. I know the one you're talking about. I saw it a few months ago, and it's big. It's big. It's almost planet size. You see it come up, and you see like almost like a tornado of plasma coming up from the sun into this thing, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then it's
like they were refueling.
Yeah, that's right. But do you know what that reminded me of? What was that TV show? It was one of the Stargate ones. And it was that ship that they had, the Atlantean ship, and they were going all, the one? And that, they thought they were going to the sun, and it wasn't. It was just refueling. I can't remember what it's called, but you know the one I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I haven't seen Star Trek since, like, middle school, so, like, I don't remember.
That's my thing. Why would you make something like that and then just hide it? Why would you make it and then hide it and then all of a sudden go, oh, look? It just seems a bit odd. I do think something's happening, something's on its way. There's stuff been going on that we've been lied to about for years, if not hundreds of years, you know. And as you said, look at all the old paintings. And when you look at the old paintings, you'll see discs. You'll see discs, you'll see orbs, you'll see star systems and aliens and all this sort of stuff. It's all out there. You just got to look for it.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm going to bugger you off because it is 20 to 11 at night, and I'm going to go and have a cup of tea and spend a bit of time with my missus. Would you like to tell everybody about your glorious show that you do, and when it is, and what time it is, and what you're doing?
I have a show called Lost to the Rabbit Hole. I do interviews with abductees, ghost hunters, anything strange and paranormal we dive into. And it's more of a show than a podcast, but it is still a podcast, if that makes any sense.
When is it?
That will be revealed in the future.
Right, okay.
I have like 4 videos to put out.
Okay, because you've had Wayne and I on there as well, haven't you?
Yeah.
Well, he did say he has one. You know, so he's got to be older.
It takes us a really long time to edit everything and put in the pictures and the music and stuff.
I think that's why I like doing this, is because I can't be asked with the editing, but I love having everybody in the chat room, you know, when they throw out comments and questions and this, that, and the other, and I like all the interaction. That's why I prefer doing it like this.
Well, and also, I do it because I'm married to someone who's like in digital media and for photography, and takes care of all that for me. That's why we have
cheating, that is. All right, nice one. All right, well, if you, I'll message Wayne later because I know he's in bed with a headache at the moment. But I'll message Wayne later about Monday. I won't see you guys next Monday because, as I say, I'll be on my way back from Belgium. We're going to a haunted castle as well over there in
that's
Ghent.
Awesome.
So yeah, I'm so looking forward to it. Do you know what I'm looking forward to most? It's the first time Rachel and I have ever gone away together, and it's the first time I've had a holiday out of the UK for at least 30 years. So. Yeah, it's only a weekend away, but it's the first of many to come. And eventually, when we get to America, we'll be coming to see everybody. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Right. So, yes, we'll be back next week. Mr. Josh here. We'll be back with Mr. Wayne. Get well soon, Wayne. And everybody in the chat room and everybody who's watching on all the other formats we go out on. Thank you for staying with us. Thank you for watching. And we will see you next week. And remember, keep your eyes to the skies. If you see it, say it. Let us know. Josh, Wayne, myself, message us, take any pictures, send them to us, and then we can either go, yes, that's real, or yes, it's dust. On that note, I'm out of here. So see you later. Thank you for joining us. And we will see you next week, guys. Bye.
Yep. Take it easy.